How to prevent plumbing emergencies. That can save you a lot of money. We're going to talk about it in this video, and we're going to talk about it right now. How to prevent plumbing emergencies. Guys, that can save you a ton of money. The reason I say that, if you do something wrong at home and create a plumbing emergency, it can get very expensive. The plumbing emergencies that I'm talking about are clogging up a drain maybe. Sometimes you can avoid that, sometimes you can't. We actually know that if you put the wrong things in a garbage disposal, you can create a plumbing emergency.
It's an emergency. This is an emergency show.
It can do one of two things. It can either stop up your sink, or it can actually go further down the line and create other issues and problems that maybe stop up your entire house. Another thing that can lead to plumbing emergencies, if you've got old cast iron pipes and you're using baby wipes and flushing them down the toilet, they can clog the sewer main. If it's a PVC line, maybe a little bit different. The inside of PVC pipe is actually smoother, and those baby wipes may go all the way down to the main. But guys, let's look at it like this. Remember a couple of things here based on what I just said. There's certain things you don't want to put down the garbage disposal. Eggshells, rice, pasta, leafy things like lettuce and cabbage, things like that. You don't want to pour grease down in there. Guys, these things you know will lead to problems, and they're either going to cause a big problem or they're going to cost you a lot of money.
I want my money, man.
That's up to you, but I prefer to just put those things in the trash can or on the hot grease, wait for it to cool down, maybe pour it in a coffee can or something you can put the lid on. The other things, if you want to throw them in the trash can but you don't want your house to smell bad, put them in a Ziploc bag. And you may say, look, I don't want to waste a Ziploc bag. That Ziploc bag is a few pennies. That cost going to, do we have audio plugged in? I don't know why I normally see the phone up there, and all of a sudden I looked over and I thought, wait, did we ever, I've got a red light, sorry. That cost of calling a plumber is going to be a whole lot more than what it would cost you for a Ziploc bag. Now, I do this at home. If I've got scrap foods that I need to get rid of, if I've got things that I need to do, I'll put it in the Ziploc bag, seal it up, and put it in the trash can so it doesn't smell bad and so my dog doesn't want to get into it. Also, remember on your toilet, there's certain things you don't flush down the toilet. To be honest, if it doesn't come out of your body and it's not toilet paper, you really don't flush it down the toilet. I don't need to give you a list here, guys. You know what they are. You've seen them before. It will stop up your toilet. Maybe not right now, maybe not this week, but one day those solids are going to build up and it's going to clog up a main or a branch line, and it's going to get expensive. A plumbing emergency is the worst thing. The reason being, they normally happen on a holiday or in the middle of the night. And most plumbers have emergency fees. I know plumbing companies that actually charge $300 just to get up and come out in the middle of the night or on the weekend. And you may say, look, that's horrible. I can't believe they're robbing people. The customer, you might be really robbing that plumber of his family time. How much is that worth?
I don't clean. I'm not clean.
Think about it. If you do things right, you can avoid these plumbing emergencies. You don't want to call a plumber in the middle of the night. You don't want to call a plumber on the weekend. These people have worked all day. They make decent money. Now to come in at night, they're going to charge extra. So think about it before you do something like that. And also, if you have a plumbing emergency, have you watched a video that can show you how to turn off your water, how to unstop your toilet, or maybe even how to unjam your garbage disposal? You may be able to watch a video right here on this channel that keeps you from having to call a plumber. Tell me something. Leave me a comment down below if you've ever had to call a plumber as an emergency. Emergency plumbing isn't cheap, but if you've ever had to call a plumber on the weekend or overnight, leave a comment down below and let me know what kind of service fee did they charge you just because it was after hours. And if you've done a repair yourself, and guys, get me, I understand DIY plumbing. That's why I make these videos, to teach you how to fix your own plumbing. But if you've made a plumbing repair or done a DIY project yourself, did you do it right? Here in Texas, as the registered homeowner, if that house is your homestead, you are actually legally allowed to do your own plumbing. But you're still supposed to pull a permit. You're still supposed to get it inspected. So you're still supposed to do it right. You may need a code book one day to help you understand what's right. Most cities, you can get online and find out what size a drain line needs to be or what size a water line needs to be. So guys, there's a lot of things you can do to figure it out. Make sure you use the right product and the right materials, and you do that way you don't have a plumbing emergency because of something that you did. A couple of big tips for preventing plumbing emergencies are: make sure you flush your water heater. Do you know how to flush your water heater? Because if you flush it annually, you can make that water heater last longer and reduce the possibilities of it rupturing or leaking anytime in the future. Another big thing to remember to avoid plumbing emergencies: know how to shut the water off at your house. If it's the middle of winter and you know you're going out of town for a week or two, shut the water off. The last thing you want is a freeze break, a busted water line because it froze. And if a water line is on an exterior wall, that can happen. So another thing to think about there is, if you know you've got a kitchen faucet or a shower valve or something like that on an exterior wall, maybe it's on the north side of the house. If it's a kitchen cabinet, open the doors up. If it's not, maybe you let that faucet drip both hot and cold water to keep that water moving. As long as that water's moving, it should not freeze. So preventing plumbing emergencies is a big deal.
This is an emergency show.
Now there's also new products out. We use flood stops on water heaters so that if water ever gets in the pan, the valve automatically shuts off to the water heater. This is a great thing. We also use Meter Dog, where it hooks up to the meter, and now you've got an app that lets you know your daily water usage, and it lets you know if your meter has not stopped spinning in a certain amount of time. And when they get that new thing worked out, there's going to be a button where you can shut the water off at your house. And one thing to remember about a plumbing emergency is make sure you know how to turn the water off in case you have one. Guys, we've got other videos we've made where we show you how to turn the water off at your meter, and we show you how to turn it off at your valve box if you have one. If you do your own repairs and you have a plumbing emergency, guys, you might be asking for it. Don't get me wrong, I'm trying to show you the right way to do things. Don't take shortcuts, and always do the right thing. If you've done a plumbing repair yourself, leave us a comment down below and let us know, how did that go? Did you end up having to call a plumber out because of an emergency? Or is it something you were able to fix and do yourself? And if you hadn't done it yet, please subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, and I'll see you on the next video if you don't get flushed.